What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe, No Days Off DFS, here to bring you a WNBA slate breakdown for what I think is going to happen in the WNBA. It's not guaranteed at all, especially after some of the shit that I am watching tonight. First and foremost, if you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of the content your boy puts out here over on the channel, and drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos, content, anything that I'm putting out is helping you guys win some money. Hopefully you guys are able to get the breakdown today. Definitely, of course, put in as much stuff as I could find in regards to things that we should look at, and hopefully you were able to avoid some of the landmines. There was definitely some landmines on today. The prop plays that my boy B put out, hopefully you guys were able to go ahead and get that as well. And then of course my WNBA core, and then the update that I put out. Hanson, if you are seeing this, I apologize for not being able to respond back to your comment. I was cooking dinner, so I missed it. I do apologize. I missed that notification, so that is on me. My bad. I'm sorry about that. But this slate, man, blowout, of course, in the Storm taking on the Connecticut Sun, but it's not the blowout necessarily. Besides Skylar Diggins dropping a triple-double, I mean, we know she's a sicko, but damn, she was hitting the glass. She was passing that ball, and she could have had the triple-double sooner, but then, of course, she missed a free throw, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But on the flip side of things, Moreau plays 17 minutes in a blowout. Why? Why does she only play 17 minutes in a blowout, and Bria Hartley is out here still playing 30-something minutes? Granted, I'm not going to complain because, of course, I have Bria Hartley as a core play, but still, that doesn't make any sense for anyone that had Moreau. I know you guys are sick. I'm sorry. That sucks. She sold me on one of my props I had. I had her for 8 rebounds. 8. That's all I needed was 8. And of course, she gets pulled and sits, doesn't play the whole fourth quarter. On top of that, Olivia Nelson-Adota rises from the dead. 10 points, 2 blocks, 3 steals, 2 assists, 6 rebounds, 30 fantasy points. If you did the switch and you didn't play Moreau, you played Olivia. Of course, Olivia gets the blowout run for whatever reason. Big day. Like that right there. But that's not even the icing on the cake. That's not even the main thing. The Dallas Wings are completely shitting on the New York Liberty. They are shitting. Sabrina Ionescu at one point only had 1 point going into the half. She has like 6 now, I think. Oh no, she made it to 10. She made it to 10. Jonquil Jones with 13. It's honestly just a crazy slate, and this is why I say it is up and down for the WNBA constantly, consistently. It is crazy. You can get the value right, and then sometimes, of course, the chalk bust, which is, of course, the chalk tonight was New York Liberty. You can get the studs right, and then, of course, the chalk bust. It's sometimes no in between, but when you can get it right, it feels so good. So anyone that is watching this, and I know you're mad, you're upset, like, fucking da. Hey, it's what comes with the territory of playing a niche sport like this. I know you guys see it all the time in esports, teams that lose, that should win, things like that. Like, I get it. I mean, I'm even experiencing it right now. I know you guys seen it. I've been previewing it. My tennis. The only reason why I haven't put it out to you guys yet, because I'm still trying to make sure I crush numbers and get it right, because, of course, I'm seeing things on one end, but then something else happens. So that's why I'm not going to put something out to you guys that is not fully polished, that at least has at least a 65% hit rate. And if you're thinking that that's like bullshit, stupid, look at what it takes to actually really win when you're betting and all this other stuff. 65 is on the very much high end and very good when it comes down to it. I lost one bet today, one of my 4 legs today that I played on the sportsbook, by a dude that decided, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to play anymore. Walked over his opponent. Legit. Walk over means like he forfeited. Let him. He went over. The other guy went over to the next round. That's the only reason why I lost. And he won the first set, lost the second set like a bitch, and said, you know what? Lost 2 games, got broke in the third set. Said, hey, I'm done. No injury, nothing. I'm done. Completely pissed me off. Of course, I'm not gonna put that out to you guys yet. Still working on it, but needless to say, if you guys have not subscribed already, I know I said it once, but we got the results for the jersey giveaway. We are doing the A'ja Wilson. A'ja Wilson is one that won. She got 8 votes. Nafisa Carly got 7. Andrew Reese got 6. So we're going with a good old A'ja Wilson, the GOAT herself, who's breaking down barriers over here for the WNBA. When you look at it, we got 3 choices. We got the A'ja Wilson 2025 All-Star jersey. I do like that one. I might order it for myself. We also have the Black Vegas Explorer Edition jersey, and then we have the Red Rebel Edition jersey. So Down in the comment section, I will have a poll down there for you guys. It's in two places. One, it's on my actual YouTube page on the post section right there. And then the second place is going to be down in the comment section of this video. This is the only video that I will be putting it on, because I do plan on ordering that thing, the next video that I do for breakdown. So get your votes in for it and for a chance for you guys to win. Again, once we hit 2,000 subs, we are going to be sending that out to somebody. So definitely subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends and whatnot, and let them know, hey, your boy Zoe is over here doing giveaways, trying to hook you guys up with some WNBA merch before the season ends. Going on over to DraftKings, the site I play the most on the site. If you guys don't have an account, you want one, check the link down in the description box below so you guys get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the King. We got a 3-gamer. Nobody's on a back-to-back. We got lucky. We do, of course, have injury news and things like that we have to pay attention to in almost every game. Really, the big thing over here for the Golden State Valkyries taking on the Atlanta Dream. For Golden State, Monique Billings, she's listed as questionable. She might be back finally after the ankle sprain that she's been dealing with. Hopefully she is. I definitely wouldn't mind getting her. First time going up against the Atlanta Dream, which is one of her former teams. It's kind of funny. We have literally 3 players that used to play for the Atlanta Dream going up against them again. Me here, Billings, and Tiffany Hayes. All of them used to play for the Atlanta Dream at one point in time in their career. But Mo Billings, she definitely went out there and she gave them buckets when she played versus them early in the season. When they played going up against Atlanta, which I was looking at a second ago. Oh, here we go. She dropped 29.5 fantasy points in 29 actual minutes, 19 points, 6 rebounds. And this was also on the road. So it wasn't at home. She did this on the road. So definitely a really good sign for us. But I don't know if she would actually start coming back. They might just still go ahead and run Zane Lassini out there at the 4. If that's the case, if Zane Lassini is still out there, I don't mind it. It's just that she has to actually shoot and make shots. That's the biggest thing when it comes down to her whenever she's out there on the court. And if she's not doing it, if Tiffany Hayes is not being aggressive or anything, and Solange just doesn't have the lanes or anything to be able to cut to the rim, or if her outside shot is not working like it was last game, where she went into the half with 14.75 fantasy points, played 25 fucking minutes, and finished the game with 14.75 fantasy points. Luckily, she was high owned. I definitely don't mind running it right back. We've seen it time and time again. Whenever a player busts and then everyone gets off of it, the field just jumps like, yo, I'm not touching that again. What do they go out there and do? They have a really great day. So I definitely do not mind going to Salon. I do think this should be a decent spot to go ahead and attack with her. She only played 4 minutes. I want to say that was like one of her second game. Yeah, that was her second game back from playing a Euroball. So definitely don't mind going to her because she does have a pretty decent usage. Veronica Burton, I really don't have interest at 91K. I definitely do think there's other guards we can get to on the slate. Going up against Atlanta whenever they did play, 26.75 fantasy points. So if she can actually get her shot to fall and the playmaking facilitating is back on par like what it should be, I wouldn't mind necessarily getting to her, but I don't necessarily see myself paying up that much. Tiffany Hayes, I do have some interest as a GPP option. We do just need her to actually be aggressive and look to score. She has to look to score. She's not looking to score. She's not really looking to do too much. And Natasha Cloud is picking up a bunch of fouls right now for whatever reason in this damn game. But Tiffany Hayes, she has to look to score. Definitely be the alpha or either be the beta to Salon. She has to. She has to. Especially if you don't have Mo Billings out there, who we know is not afraid to be aggressive and take the shots. Somebody has to step up for this team over here without Kayla Thornton being out there. That's really what it comes down to for them. And no one currently right now is stepping up. I thought Salon was going to be that. She somewhat was it in the first game. Now we got to see it continue. Little Lady Light, she's been getting some minutes, definitely for sure off the bench. More of a GPP option for me just because she has to. She truly relies on getting that shot to fall. If it's not falling, she's not really doing too much. And again, Golden State on the road, really role players. I really don't like to play role players on the road, just like the same thing for the NBA. It's the same thing for the WNBA, but it's definitely going to be much worse. Outside of that, me here, GPP option, when she played going up against them, which they are going to need her size. She played 17 minutes, 16.5 fantasy points. Only thing is she's playing off the bench. She barely meets the cutoff for a value option that I would look to, just because she's 5,400 underneath that 5.5 range that I look to for a value. So you definitely could look in that direction to her, especially if Billings is going to be limited, not in the starting lineup or something like that. Then maybe I could take a chance on me here, but I would say temper expectations when it comes down to it. Fag Bentley, she didn't have the greatest game going up against Twin Towers over there. 25 minutes, only 8 fantasy points. Tried to pick it up a little bit in this last game going up against Connecticut Sun. Maybe you can go there, GPP option. I really don't have too much interest. I would much rather just go ahead and play for Salon over paying for Fag Bentley. On the Atlanta side of things, they are still going to be without Ryan Howard, which kind of sucks. I did see a video of Ryan. She looks like she's fine. She's doing taste testing and stuff like that with her girl, Alicia Gray. So hopefully she'll be back out there on the court soon. 11K for Alicia Gray, though. That's a steep, hefty price to pay for Alicia Gray. I understand she is typically the role model of consistency, but I really don't see myself necessarily getting up to 11K for Alicia Gray. I would, of course, rather just, if I'm paying up for a guard over here for them, it would be Jordan Canada, just because she is showing that she is aggressive. She's not scared to go out there, and she looks healthy. I think that's the biggest thing for it, is that Canada is actually healthy. She's showing us streaks and flashes of what we know and knew that she could do in the first place. So I don't mind getting to Canada if I got to pay up for one of these two guards. Definitely it's a decent spot for him. Versus Golden State earlier, she dropped 31 fantasy points, so it's not bad. They do tend to bleed points and things like that. Two opposing guards in Canada would fit right there into that mode in that build. Outside of that, Brianna Jones, she seemed to have lost some minutes last game, 15 minutes going up against the Minnesota Lynx. You would think they would need her out there, but I can understand it. Definitely a bit step too slow to try to go out there and guard and deal with Nafisha Collier, and Feet popped off and had a really great game. But I wouldn't mind getting back to her as a possible GPP option. 35.5 fantasy points. We could see her getting more of the minutes over Brittany Griner, who somehow, some way played 30 minutes going up against the Lynx. 31.5 fantasy points. I'm not going to rule Brittany Griner out as a play that I want to get to, but I will say it's kind of like a stove. You know, you touch it, you feel that it's hot. You don't want to keep touching it and messing with it. You know, that's kind of what I feel like Brittany Griner is. She's hot. She's hot, but I don't know if I want to keep testing the water and messing with that right now, you know? So Brittany Griner, 7-7. I mean, the price is slowly starting to tick up, but she's showing that she's actually giving us a little something. Maybe we could take a stab there, but I'm not necessarily going to jump head over heels to go ahead and get to that right there. I will say Maya Cadwell, she's been someone that if I land or if I want to get a piece of Atlanta and I don't feel like paying up for one of the guards and I'm not going to pay up for the forwards, I definitely don't mind getting down to Maya Cadwell. I know she's going to go out there and play some decent minutes, and typically she's pretty productive, especially with a shot is falling. Big thing though is that she's splitting minutes with SWK. SWK is actually playing a pretty decent string of minutes, and I will say I was late to the party in regards to getting the value on SWK when she was below 4K. She's below 5K still, decently out there, still playing 20-ish minutes. She's going to do that as long as Ryan Howard is out, and she's being productive in those minutes in that role. Only 4 minutes last time versus Golden State Valkyrie, 1.25 fantasy points. I do think she's definitely a value option that we should have on our radar. If we think that the smallness of the Golden State Valkyrie is going to run the bigs off the court for Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner, Naz Hillman and Nia Coffey are both going to have to be in consideration and play. Hillman, we know she's the more consistent of the two to get the minutes, and definitely does have some pretty good upside. She played 31 minutes versus the Golden State Valkyrie the last time, dropped 31 fantasy points. I would definitely write her down as a potential play, especially if you want to go with that game theory of which way this game goes. Going on over to the Chicago Sky taking on the Washington Mystics. I think this game, hopefully we have Angel Reese back. She's ready to put the team back on her back. Go ahead and hurt her a little bit more while she's out here trying to do what she got to do. Going up against Shakira Austin, we know that they love to talk that to each other, and I'm really hoping that Reese is back. If she's back, I'm hoping it's at least 90%, where she's not going to necessarily have to be limited, because this team desperately needs her. They did make a signing today. They signed Uzan, I believe, so they got another guard brought in. Davis, she got waived today. Mariah Jefferson also got waived. Well, Davis didn't get waived. She got released because she was on a 7-day contract. And Mariah Jefferson, she got waived. But they're riddled and they're dealing with injuries up and down this. Atkins, she's already been ruled out. Aniwene, she's questionable. Haley Van Lift is questionable. If Reese is out, and you know, they're definitely going to, of course, have to play some of these other players in order to have enough to not forfeit the match. Chicago's bad. And I mean, Washington, it's not like they're world beaters when it comes down to it, but they're decent enough to be able to blow Chicago out of the water if Reese is not playing. I will say if Reese is in and she's not going to be limited, if we get some type of word that she's not going to be limited, I do love it, because we do know opposing bigs versus Washington is where we can attack this twin tower lineup, because they force everything from the outside in, and that means that should be a good game for Cardoso, which I'm hoping that all these minutes that she's been getting while Reese has been out will pay off and be good for her. 33 minutes, 28 minutes, 24 minutes in these games that Reese has missed, 32, 31, and 27 fantasy points. All of them looking pretty good and some decent upside that we could get from her. I will say the price is a bit much for Cardoso and Reese. If Reese is going to be limited, I wouldn't be paying that, especially when we have Asia Wilson, Derek Hamby, and Azarae Stevens coming up in the last game, which should be a good game. And that one right there, I possibly couldn't see myself paying for anyone over here on Chicago if that's going to be the case. My girl Banham, she was definitely a saver. 8,100 though, that's a bit rich for me to pay for Banham, who has to rely heavily on actually scoring. She's playing out of position, but they brought in another guard to hopefully relieve her of that spell. I don't see myself trying to pay up and spend that for paying for her on that part. But on the flip side of things, Shakira Austin, Kiki, Sykes, Citron, all these guys, of course, would be in contention to play if Chicago can be able to keep this game close. Shakira Austin, she has a bone to pick, of course, with Chicago. You know, she loves to get the dubs in the chat for her. So definitely, I would not mind getting to her. She's been showing the efficiency out there. Well, correction, not efficiency, just her fantasy point upside lately, with 33, 33, 37, 39 fantasy points. And the last time going up against Chicago, she dropped 38 fantasy points in that game. The game prior to that, she had 33.25. Like I said, she likes going up against the matchup against Angel Reese and them. And of course, we do know that even though you can attack Washington with opposing bigs, you can also attack Chicago with opposing bigs as well. Long as she keeps her head cool and does not get herself thrown out of the game or some stupid ass text, she will be fine. Citron, she's finally etching her way back up there in regards to price and everything. Down game going up against the Phoenix Mercury last time, but this is, of course, it's Chicago Sky. She should be able to score at will like what she normally does. Hopefully get her rebounds like she has been able to do in the past. But if her floor is going to be right around 30-ish fantasy points, I really don't see myself trying to get to that. To pay $9,300 for her, I would take a swing and a stab at Brittany Sykes, who's coming off of back-to-back really shitty games, if we're going to be honest about it. This is one of those random games where, like what she did, 48.5 fantasy points going up against Chicago. She can definitely do that here again. They don't have a true actual ball handler. There's definitely some easy steals that Sykes can get. She also just has to keep herself out of foul trouble. Kiki, she's been teeter-tottering over the last couple of games. Really not too sure what's going on with her, but this is one of those spots where, of course, like I said, opposing bigs going up against Chicago is pretty much easy day, especially if Reese is not going to be playing. Might be even better for Kiki to be able to get those rebounds and things like that. I would take a stab at 8,200 if you're not trying to pay up for Shakira Austin. Definitely makes sense to me. And then Suge Sutton and Jade Melbourne. Right now, it's kind of a coin flip. Melbourne, she's seeing some very good minutes, and it makes you have to look at her in her direction because of the minutes that she's actually playing. I want to believe in them. I want to actually trust it. I'm just scared to go ahead and trust it because I would definitely drop right down here and play her over playing a Citron, over playing a Sykes, especially if I know that she's going to go out there and play that type of role in minutes and shoot. Have some security. Definitely wouldn't mind it, would keep it on your radar, but if you want safety, you know that they're going to start, play at least about 20 minutes. Suge Sutton is going to be the play that you want to look to over there on that side. Last game, Las Vegas Aces taking on the Sparks. Big thing over here in this game is that the Brink truck is back. Yes, I said it. The Brink truck is back. Cameron Brink is back. She's expected to play. What does that mean for the Sparks? We're going to get to that in a second. Of course, A'ja Wilson in play anytime is going up against her girl, De'Arica Hamby. She goes out there and gives Pam everything that she can give for it. I'm going to put her at a floor of 40 fantasy points. I'm not going to lock her in because anytime I have locked A'ja Wilson in or any player on stream, they've always done it for us. I'm not going to do that to us today. But A'ja Wilson, of course, if you're going to fade A'ja, you already know you come out here to Jackie Young. Jackie, she's been putting together some decent games in her last 2 games. Definitely do not mind getting over to her. We know that she's going to be out there scrambling and chasing her girl Plum, but she did have 56.5 fantasy points going up against the Sparks earlier this season. And then in another game, which I know they played more than once. Where is that other game? I can't find it. All right, but should have a really great game going up against them the first time, and I would expect much of the same here, if not anything less. We do have to pay attention to see if Kirsten Bell is still going to be in the starting lineup. They finally shook it up, took Lloyd out of the starting line. If Bell is starting, I can't even say with a straight face. I don't know what to think about Kirsten Bell in the starting lineup, if I'm going to be very honest. Rakia Jackson is a completely different player than going up against my Dallas Wings in our undersizedness to really endorse wanting to play Kirsten Bell. But I mean, if she starts, you have to consider her. You literally look at it, write her down as a potential option. But I could see them possibly maybe starting Nye instead of Bell. But I mean, Becky might just actually stick with it and just want to roll with it and see what it does. So one thing that we know that Sparks, they will let you take threes, and that's what Bell actually is pretty decent at. So there's that right there for Kirsten Bell, man. On the Sparks side of things, I would imagine that Brink, she's going to be playing off the bench. With her playing off the bench, I think that's going to affect, of course, both De'Arica Hamby and Azurá Stevens, but I would expect no more than 15 minutes if she's going to be playing. And what it's really going to do is just going to be rotating, of course, Hamby, Stevens. They're just going to be rotating out in regards to it. I would imagine that we just see the minutes for like Cannon, Fegan, those minutes actually disappear versus having to cut too deep into Hamby or Stevens minutes. That's what I would imagine, especially for a player that's coming back from injury. De'Arica Hamby, 11-2. We know whenever she goes up against the Aces, she typically tries to give it to him. 33 minutes going up against them early this season, 39.5 fantasy points, and then 33 minutes again. She dropped 43 fantasy points in that game as well. Hamby, great spot. Kelsey Plum, she has not played well going up against the Aces so far in either game that they had. 21.5 fantasy points in one and 33.5. If you like that 33.5, I don't know what you're thinking, but I wouldn't be doing that, especially for a 10-7 player. I don't see myself getting there to Kelsey Plum. Azrae Stevens, she's played well going up against him. And again, opposing bigs going up against the Aces, one spot that they do suck at is those points that they give up in the paint and right outside that restricted area. That's where Hamby gets a lot of her buckets and points at, and that's why she's excelled in this position and spot. Azrae, of course, she can knock down from the outside. If she's going to be having to deal with Asia, who she's a good defender, but Asia does tend to drop quite a bit. I wouldn't mind taking Azrae if you're worried about Hamby and paying up for that price. Right there. Rakia Jackson, RJ, going out there, getting the game winner, balling out, especially after we got off of her after she dudded going up against Connecticut Sun. GPP option, I definitely think you can mess with it, but not necessarily feeling like paying 8-4 for her. I would look more towards Kiki, who's in a much better matchup in the spot. I would take that right there. Outside of that, Alleman, 7,900, the price is slowly starting to tick up, really not seeing the value that we were seeing where she can get us at 20-ish fantasy points. I think it's going to be a bit too much for me to actually get to. Outside of that, not really going to mess with anything else. Ray Burrell will be the only other one that really does kind of spark the interest, just because her minutes are actually ticking up again as well, and she's seeing at least teens for the fantasy point upside that she's given us, and that would be the only other thing I could take. Van Loo, she's there, but not something that you actually have to play or take. So definitely just be careful if you are actually looking that direction. Everyone else, GPP option, just because we do have Brink back, and I don't see myself getting to anything over there. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Hopefully, you guys were able to get something good from this. Definitely, of course, remember what I said. Check down in the description below to give me the vote for which jersey we should get for the 2K giveaway. With that being said, it's your boy Zoe. Peace.